Okay, here's what I was thinking we should do. My therapist, or my old therapist, used to do a PEMS check-in with me every time we would start therapy.
Guess what that stands for.
How did you know it was an acronym?
Because when else has PEMS been an actual word?
I don't know. It could have been some medical term that you didn't know.
Personal, emotional, mental, spiritual.
You already knew that.
No, but I do know that? I do know your therapist from when we did premarital counseling.
Yeah.
And those are all things that seemed fairly important to her, and we talked about in our premarital counseling.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with the PEMS check-in.
Can we talk about how I crushed that shit?
You did crush it.
Thank you. I needed that validation.
Okay. How are you feeling? Do you want to do popcorn? PEMMSS, or do you want to do PEMS?
Let's do personal.
Okay.
You start.
Oh wait, did you say personal or did you say physical?
Oh, I said personal.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's physical.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
So I did fuck up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm sorry. That was my fault because I didn't catch it. But yeah, it's.
You should pull away from the mic a bit. You're blasting it.
That just changed my emotional state for sure.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, no, it's physical. So like how you're physically feeling, how you're feeling emotionally, how you're feeling mentally, and how you're feeling spiritually.
I guess that makes a lot more sense, honestly, because personal.
It doesn't. It's kind of vague.
I think of like as personal versus professional, or so, you know.
Professionally, I'm feeling very.
Honestly, I feel pretty good this week, professionally. Personally,
I'm pretty rich this week professionally.
Falling apart. But I mean, emotional, mental, and spiritual all refer to personal.
This whole thing is personal, so yes.
Yeah, I guess they could also be professional.
All right, Ty, just tell us how you're feeling physically.
All right, physically,
Jesus.
Oh no, we're already off the rails. We've been on this.
Long.
We hit record 3 minutes ago. Okay. Physically, I'm okay.
No. How exactly are you feeling physically? It's not I'm okay, I'm good. It's no.
No, I was gonna give more to that.
Okay, go ahead.
I wasn't just gonna.
Sorry.
All right.
Those are just words to avoid. I'm good, okay, tired. Tired can kind of count for.
Yeah, but you should
specific.
probably be drained versus. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Okay, physically, I am. Well, now we're starting to get more mental, but it's fine. I am getting over being sick.
So how are you feeling now?
So I feel good, but then I randomly will like start coughing, and it's really annoying.
You're telling me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really annoying because it's like, well, A, involuntary, and B, it's like I feel fine.
Yeah, it's
I don't
like that.
feel sick at all.
It's like that sudden urge itch thing, but it's not fully an itch, but it's almost kind of in your chest, and you just like have to cough.
Yeah, it's like deep in your throat.
Yeah,
it sucks.
And he keeps scaring the shiz out of me.
Yeah,
every time he does it, because it's always like out of nowhere, and it's just it's like jolting.
Yeah.
Oh, it sends a shiver down my spine.
Yeah, it sucks. So if I randomly like dip out or I'm coughing in the background of Monica talking throughout this episode, that's why. I feel great, but I have noticed the longer I talk, the worse it gets.
So we'll see how he's holding up by the end of this episode.
Yeah, by the time we're signing off here, I'm going to just be hacking in the background. But other than that, I feel pretty okay. Pretty good. Did I do okay?
Yeah, you did.
Check-in?
You did great.
All right, great.
You just talk a lot sometimes, but that's good because this is a podcast, and
that's my only job here.
Yeah.
Other than editing and planning.
Physically, hey, I run the social media.
You do.
Except I am logged out of the account right now, so Ty has been. Ty's been posting on my behalf, but I still made the things for you last week.
Yeah, but I did make the things the week before.
Hey, don't hold that over me. I was really stressed.
You were really stressed that week. That was, don't worry.
He says don't worry when he's clearly holding it over my head, but it's fine.
I used my one hold over your head. That's the one time I get.
That's an ick. Okay, anyway.
Honestly fair.
Physically, I am feeling satisfied. We did just eat dinner, so I'm
Good.
not feeling hungry. I'm not feeling full. Feeling pretty good in that regard.
Good.
Also, my head feels a little tight because I have like a slicked back ponytail.
Is that why it was hurting earlier?
I think so. Because yesterday I had a headache too, and I also had a slicked back ponytail that day. I guess you just do what you got to do for the trends.
You didn't even take the ponytail out overnight.
I slept in this. Well, I redid it this morning. I redid it, but I did sleep in the ponytail.
It's not good.
It's not bad to sleep in a ponytail, I don't think. Well, it should be like a scrunchie or something kind of loose. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, that's where I'm at.
For the physical?
Yeah, and I'm not cold or hot, so I feel like overall I'm just satisfied.
Nice.
Yeah.
Emotionally, I feel content. Is that allowed?
I always get mixed up on emotional and mental, but I think you are correct in that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because
I feel happy. I feel
that's
fulfilled.
Oh, that's great.
Emotionally, I do feel pretty good.
Good.
I did have one little sad thing earlier.
Do you want to talk about it on the podcast or?
Yeah, might as well. We've talked about it extensively.
Hold on real quick. I'm pulling up my charts that Kelly gave me.
Nice.
Of like
I do love
descriptive
those
words.
charts.
I forgot about it, but I came across them today.
Did you hear that? I said
Charches.
I actually thought about it when we first started talking about when you first told me I wasn't allowed to say I'm okay. I thought about them the other day, actually. You said you were stressed about something, and I never quite know what that means. So I thought about it and was like, I should just print that and put it on our wall.
On our fridge.
Yeah. I should honestly put it above our coffee stuff, and people would think it's a coffee wheel, like a tasting wheel.
Would they think that?
Yeah. It looks the exact same as the coffee tasting wheel.
Oh, I feel like I'd be like, why do you have emotional charts above your coffee station?
Yeah, they're great. Anyways, I did have one small sad thing happen. It's weird. It's a happy sad thing.
Is there a word for the way that I'm feeling tonight? Happy
Casey?
and sad. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
That was good. You crushed it.
Thank you.
The films that I directed when I worked at the production company came out this week, and I found them today on the interwebs, and that was very exciting because they were for BBC Storyworks, and they're out there for the world to see, and I directed them, which was very cool. But one of them, I got let go before I could finish that film. So I saw it through production, but didn't get to see it through post-production. And so that was a little sad. It was a weird experience because it was the first time that I got to see the project that I directed. And ultimately, like, with a project like that, I don't think it would have changed that much had I been there through post-production, just because BBC is pretty picky about how they wanted it, and I would have worked with the producer, and ultimately it's the producer's film, not the director's film. So I don't know that it would have changed that much, but it would have been a little bit different, I'm sure, in some regard. But yeah, so that happened today, which was a little bit sad, but it was also kind of fun to be able to look at, the BBC website and see two films that I
The
shot.
little part of one that I saw looked good when you turned your phone around and showed it to me and said, "That's me."
Yep. I'll show you them later. I feel like I showed you the New York one. I know I showed it to my mom. That's how I'm doing emotionally.
Okay, let me look at the wheel to know how I'm feeling, or to think of how I'm feeling emotionally, because the emotions can be tough
Rampant.
for me. I'm gonna pick like 2 positives, 2 uncomfortable. That's another thing. You don't have to call them negative. You can just call them uncomfortable emotions.
Okay.
We'll start with the uncomfortable. I would say I am feeling a little bitter regarding our previous conversation about your emotional state.
Yep.
And a little bit, I would say a little anxious. Which, if you know me, you know that's not really anything new.
Yeah, that's pretty
but
on par.
Yeah.
Anxious about anything in particular, or just...
that's always the question, isn't it?
It is. I ask it once a day. I like to check in. Sometimes you know what you're anxious about. Sometimes you have no idea.
I can't fully pinpoint it, but I think it's work. But I can't fully pinpoint it, It's like I just kind of feel it. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. That's fine.
My comfortable, positive emotions, I would say I am feeling expectant. It's a fun one. And let's go with grateful.
Okay. Expectant about what?
Money.
Nice.
Success.
Okay.
Not just those things, but I think just expectant about our future because we're like working towards it.
Yeah. Yeah, things are on the up. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Okay. How are you feeling mentally? This one is more of just are you feeling like clear, kind of like foggy or like distracted,
Yeah. I have two that are a little counterintuitive. They don't feel like they should go together, but they do. So in the long term, I'm feeling pretty focused.
Okay, I can see that.
In the current, I'm feeling a little scattered.
Okay.
Just because work
you got the end goal in mind.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm making steps towards it, which is cool and exciting. Mm-hmm. But right now I feel really good about, having meetings with people, talking to people, all that kind of stuff. It's really cool.
Okay, what if you're not thinking about just work? Not a thought in his brain when you ask him to take work out of it.
But honestly, it is hard for me to have separation in that because I focus so heavily on career stuff.
Why do you think that? No, I'm kidding. Don't answer because we have a podcast episode to get to.
That's true.
We should start doing episodes though that's like a therapy session. Wait, is that offensive?
Think so. Why would that be offensive?
I don't know. To people that
people that go to therapy would love it.
I think you're speaking as somebody that's not currently going to therapy, so
yeah, but I've been to therapy before.
Anyway,
it might be a little narcissistic, but we also have our own podcast.
Well, I didn't mean I just mean a therapy format, where I start with the PEMS check-in and then we go into
therapy part 1 and therapy part 2 and we just take turns playing therapist.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun.
Okay, we'll talk about it after. Sound
off in the Google form if you think it'd be fun. I feel very clear in non-career focused portions of my life.
Good.
I feel like you and I are on the same page about most things in our life at the moment, about where we live, what we want to be saving for and working towards as a couple.
Great.
Maybe I feel a little scattered about the podcast, but that's also kind of work-ish. So I separate it, but it's kind of the same.
Nice.
I should probably keep 1 or 2 of those in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did I answer mentally?
That spooked me.
Did I answer mentally okay?
Yes.
Okay, how are you doing mentally?
I would say I don't feel very clear-headed mentally, but maybe that's because I haven't really practiced being fully present yet today. I've just been going. Mm-hmm. Because I got up this morning, left the house early to take Cooper to the vet, came back home, worked, made dinner. Now we're podcasting. I didn't really ever collect myself.
Yeah.
So I think I just feel a little foggy. It's interesting, it's kind of interesting when you are on autopilot.
Yeah.
It's I'm just doing what I have to do, but I haven't checked in with myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where I'm at.
Good.
Yeah. Spiritually?
I feel pretty good. I don't know how to answer spiritually very well. I don't know what word you would say for this, but I would like to, I think, grow more, learn a little more.
In this present moment, you're feeling that?
Yes. I've been curious for the past couple days about meditation.
I could fuck with some meditation.
Yeah. I could get down and dirty with some meditation. I almost said medication.
Well, I get down and dirty with that. Oh, wait.
You do.
That sounds like drugs.
Oh.
That's not what I mean.
I mean, you do take drugs, but they're prescribed.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like to learn a little bit more about meditation because I was listening to a podcast episode the other day when they were talking about it.
It's so funny how when I mention things, you're just like, oh, nice. But then if you hear it on a podcast, you're like, so there's this cool thing called meditation.
Yes. I'm always, I guess I've
never
like expressed
you're not
interest.
Influenced by me. But if you hear it on a podcast, you're like, oh.
It depends on who says it.
Just goes to show that he values Dax Shepard's opinion more than mine.
It actually wasn't Dax.
But it was on his podcast.
It was on his podcast. Yeah. It was Rick Rubin. He's like the most successful producer ever. Okay. Not really, but yes.
So if I was a famous producer, you would think my opinions were better?
Maybe.
Okay, continue. Was that your spiritual meditation?
Yeah. But otherwise, like I've had like decent conversations. I had a really good conversation this morning about spiritualism. Spirituality. Say as you will. I feel like you and I have been leaning a little bit more into spirituality, and like I think maybe that's part of also like the growth side of things is I would like for us to like start experimenting. That sounds like we're getting like weird. But I would like
Shrooms.
Yeah, we're taking LSD together. No, I would like to, I guess, start entertaining that side of our relationship because it's not something that we have done a ton of.
Yes.
As a couple.
I would also kind of argue that it's not really a side of the relationship because I would say like even if it's not necessarily at the forefront, it's always somewhat the basis. You know what I mean?
Yes, I would agree. I feel like that.
I know what you mean, though. Like we haven't necessarily been doing very many specific things to like foster our spiritual journey together.
Yes, exactly.
I feel you.
So again, it all comes under that. Like I'm interested to grow and learn more about spirituality. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to say Christianity. I would say spirituality because I think that is what's more interesting to me at the moment. And Christianity has a part to play in that. Continue. How are you feeling?
I would say, well, similar. I like agree with everything that you just said. I don't know. I feel like over the last few weeks, I've thought more about spirituality just because of like things that have been happening. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
And while the things that have been happening are not necessarily like good, I do like having, I don't know, I like being like brought back to, not that I like ever like lose it, but I think I just like don't focus on it that much sometimes when like nothing is really like happening.
Yeah.
Might sound kind of shitty to say, like, but I feel like that's just human experience to like really lean into your faith when things are like harder.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I don't even mean like, I don't know. I feel like I've just felt more, I don't really know how to explain what I'm trying to say.
Longing?
No.
Interest?
No. I think I just feel a little bit more connected. Like,
okay. Good.
It's like when I remember
even just
that part of my life. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I don't know. I think sometimes I just like, I forget that I have the ability to like pray or, you know, like, I don't know. I think sometimes I just like forget that I have this faith that's like a really important part of my life. And then when I remember it and like lean into it a little bit more, I'm like, oh yeah, that's like who I am. And that's where I've been at. That's
cool.
Yeah. I think I did a shit job explaining, but I don't really know how to fully explain it. I just feel like
I was even going to say like when it's more on the front of your mind, just in generally, you tend like in a day-to-day sense, it tends to feel a little more part of your life.
Yeah. And I think
even if you're not like, oh, I'm praying all the time. It's like,
yeah. I've also just like you, I've had conversations lately that have been good. Like we talked about spirituality and therapy last week, and I hung out with a friend on Friday and we talked about stuff then. So yeah.
Nice.
That took forever.
It did. It took us 30 minutes.
Good Lord. I'm so sorry. I thought that was just going to be like a fun little 5 minutes to get us started. Maybe we'll start doing these a little bit more, but we'll consolidate them more. Now that we've like kind of knocked out the first one, we can just be like hungry, excited.
Yeah.
Cloudy, good.
Yeah. Because I did give like
you were giving some explanations.
I was. And I didn't know if that was the vibe or not. I guess moving forward, it might.
No, it can be the vibe, especially like if this was an actual therapy session, like
that would
what
be
I had
good
with my therapist.
Good use of our time.